Finally, UFC 3 is here. And we get to play with all the accessories, just as it was intended. Right, are you ready? Yeah, right, so we're going to do probably like a, I don't know, heavyweight maybe? I don't know, bantamweight. I don't know, what weight category is Conor McGregor in? Let's get him going. He's got a lot of moves. I like his style, it's good. Come on, Lee, just choose character there. Hurry up. Okay, right, cool. Right, let's go. And just do, please, can you just try and maybe block some? Oh, it's not, you're not doing anything. I've knocked you down again.
20 minutes later.
Ain't tapping, Lee. Ain't tapping. Tap.
Hi guys, welcome to another review from Overbite Gaming, and today we are doing EA UFC 3.
That's a mouthful, isn't it?
Right, it was even worse if it was Ultimate Fighting Championship, EA Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Electronic Arts Ultimate Fighting Championship 3rd edition. But no, yes, UFC 3. Third in the franchise.
Well, it's not the third in the UFC games. There was many more before that, but it's the third that EA have been doing after their EA MMA game, which they did after telling UFC to go stuff itself because they weren't big enough to be considered a sport, and then they were very successful.
Yes, hugely successful. Groundbreaking in many ways, but that's a different video. This obviously is a game probably made for fans of UFC. I'm kind of an average fan of UFC in general, and you're a big fan, aren't you?
I have been in previous years, not so much anymore.
Yeah, but I think it's good to note that this game, I personally think it serves the fans on many levels pretty well.
I think it's I mean, even if you don't understand all the ground game and submissions and all that rubbish, you understand smashing someone in the face, and I think it does that well enough that it will appeal to just fighting game fans as well.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with UFC, I don't know where you've been for the last probably 10, 12 years, but it's basically mixed martial arts in an 8-sided ring, beating 7 bells of shit out of each other, or snapping a few arms and submission locks.
Or as my dad calls it, 2 blokes cuddling on the ground.
Yes, it does. It can end up cuddling on the ground, but interestingly, how they've made the fighting mechanics in this game to be a fast-paced, fairly realistic-looking beat 'em up is actually astounding. I mean, the physics in this game, I think, like producing some funny glitches, but most of the time it's just fantastic to watch. And when you score that knockout, and it's just like sweet spot and spar code, and they're out before they've hit the ground, it feels great. Massive god complex.
Yeah, I love it when you manage to get the extra shot in on the way down as well.
Yeah, sort of maybe an uppercut as they're falling down.
You just bring them back to their feet a little bit.
Yeah. So it is a lot of fun. And you also, in terms of the game itself, I think it serves the fans well because you have the career mode, which you will spend most of your time kind of preparing for fights, but it will take you through the training and sparring and the learning moves, and then going into a fight. Can last very, very quickly, or very, not very long at all. But those fights will kind of build up your character, and then you become, what is it, the greatest of all time?
Yeah, GOAT.
The GOAT of UFC. But you also have extra things to do in terms of multiplayer, and set up a kind of a roster that then, I think they go off and fight other players.
Yeah, it's basically the FIFA Ultimate Team shoehorned into UFC.
Yeah, but it kind of, I think it's got a lot of services for those people that are really into UFC and can get down to the right technical kind of bits and pieces. But it also, for someone like me who's a much more kind of casual fan, can pick it up, have a quick match between, you know, Conor McGregor and some other nobody has got any stats at all.
Some other nobody. Conor McGregor's not a nobody.
Well, Conor McGregor against anyone that can't fight is a great matchup because it means I can have fun as Conor McGregor. But as a career mode, you know, you're going up through the ranks. But let's not kind of call it too much of a career mode. It's more like a succession of fights, isn't it?
It is. I mean, you do have a few fights in the WFA at the beginning, and then you get picked up by Dana White and put in the UFC. I much prefer the previous sort of ideas the game said, where you would go through the Ultimate Fighter tournament and then have the finale, and then you get a UFC contract. It had more of a story feel to it.
Yeah, I think many sports games these days seem to be focusing more on the non-sport bit
Yeah, I mean, the newest FIFA had a story mode to it.
And the NBA 2K games, they generally have this kind of story mode thing around the games themselves as well.
And the last Fight Night Champion, that had a story mode as well.
So it's kind of weird. It's gone away from the actual thing that people like about them being sports games to try and suck in the extra audience inside. Let's talk about the mechanics of the actual fighting, because I think they have changed. I have only sort of come into really being into UFC 3 by purchasing it this time, not previously. So.
Yeah, he just got battered on Let's Plays of the previous two. Yeah. It has changed a little bit. It's mostly iterative. They have changed up the controls. Before you go sideways and press a punch to hook, now it's on a button, and the button you have, you use pretty much 3 of your shoulder buttons in order to change up moves. You can end up holding all 3 and moving the stick and doing a button press as well. So it can get a bit tricky. I would have liked to see them have less available slots for moves, but be able to put those moves on easier ones. So if you've got a kick that you like, that you need to do some sort of origami with your fingers, so it'd be nice if you could just map that to a simpler combo.
I think it would add another layer of complexity to the game for those sort of high-end players, because if you want to have certain moves in those certain slots to fire off quickly and not have to worry about them to having the set up or whatever, that would be good. Maybe there's a control mechanic there that's stopping you doing that. You have to be in certain positions to do certain things.
Something. When you learn the moves, each one belongs in a certain slot. There's no amending where it goes. So if you want that move, you have to have it in that slot. And if there's another move you like that occupies the same slot, you have to pick.
Well, I think it's one of the better sports games I've seen. I think FIFA did a pretty good job of it in its time, and maybe still does. Haven't played the recent one. But certainly have that feeling that you are in the sports that you are aspiring to play. So, for example, with the UFC stuff, you get the pre-match kind of commentary, you get a little video thing from the announcers or the presenters, something from Dana and whatever comes through, and then you have the fight, you have the walk-ins, you have the tail of the tape, you have all the stuff that you'd expect, but it feels like a proper fight you're watching as well as playing.
Yeah, it does a good job at emulating the feel of watching a UFC broadcast. Yeah,
and I think that's basically where my feelings about the game come and boil down to, is that it feels like a great way to spend your time if you are a fan of UFC. That is the greatest way to explain this game to someone. If you like UFC and you like fighting games, you like this.
Absolutely. You can do terrible damage to people.
Yeah, and the damage looks realistic. The kind of I love the physics in this game. Without it would be bog standard, but with it you have this beautiful nuance of fighting in it. So if somebody dodges the wrong way and gets caught by a punch, that can easily take them out as much as a big old haymaker. Just because they put the head in the right spot at the wrong moment, and it works and makes you feel amazing when you actually catch it.
Yeah, I think this time they've improved the physics engines. I believe it is a new one for this game. In that the fact is, before it was kind of like 50-50. Like if you got a knockout, it would look funny. Or it would look great.
There would be one of those kind of...
Yeah, well, no, you'd like whiff the punch almost, or just barely clip him, and he'd act like he got hit by a truck. But in this one, I don't see as many of the funny ones happening. It's more... There's
definitely an interaction, though, like between body parts that I don't think I've seen in previous ones. So you can fold over if you take a swing at someone's block, your hand won't just suddenly go through their arms. It will go kind of over or under or get pushed around.
Yeah.
There won't be that kind of hit marker. It will be working with the physics of the face, of the hands, the shoulders, whatever. I think it works well.
Yeah, it does. It's a little confusing sometimes for me to figure out how to knock someone out, because a lot of the time
with your fist.
Do you want me
to show you?
No, it's okay. I'm familiar with unconsciousness, trust me. No, but the thing is, it's like you hit someone with a good sort of right or something, the head helps down, you're like, that's got him, and he just falls to the ground and gets up again. And you kind of like, well, if you've got no head health and I've just cracked you with a good punch, surely you should be unconscious.
Yeah, but I think it comes down to the stats, like the individual minuscule stats that were difficult to kind of work out where they are.
I mean, in one of the fights I captured this, I think I knocked the guy down 5 times before he stayed down.
Yeah, I mean, you do get in your career mode the chance to put your own face on the fighter.
Yeah, you get to import your game face. If you go to EA's website, you can upload photos, and that works with FIFA as well.
So I apologise that you get to see his face on the footage.
My beautiful face on a much more attractive body.
So, I mean, in terms of the career mode, how it's set out is you have like 3 or 4 weeks leading up to a fight, and you have a chance to join a gym and then work in that gym, either sparring or learning moves, and all of it costs kind of energy points for that week. And then you can go in and train with like doing body squats or something, and that will add some bits to your
touch
stats.
butt at the park.
Yeah, whatever.
I have no idea what that is. Sounds good.
Yeah, all this stuff you do during the weeks before, and you can do social media activities to sort of hype up your fight and gain popularity and followers, which is kind of a stat, I suppose. I mean, I'm up to like 500,000 followers. I haven't played much.
I have millions, darling. I am GOT. Yes.
But you have all of this way of interacting with your fans, and again, it gives you a bit of a feeling of what it would be like being a UFC fighter, training and sparring. And the sparring is quite interesting because that gives you an idea of how the next opponent's going to be. So it's like a practice, but put into a setting that it makes sense in the UFC. So well done there. Being an EA game, my God, I don't like saying good things about EA games, but I'm not going to shit on a game when it doesn't need shitting on.
No, I mean, the one worry I had with it being an EA game is I knew they were going to have the Ultimate Team thing in it. That was put out there right from the start. And
it's very cardy,
yes,
isn't it?
So you buy card packs and all that stuff. And, for FIFA, it's a huge moneymaker for EA. In fact, it's their biggest moneymaker.
Yep.
So, with game sales, everything like that is small potatoes compared to that, or relatively so. But the good news is they haven't let it affect the single player like they did in a certain Star Wars themed game.
You don't have to shy away from it. Battlefront 2.
So if you just want to pick up the game to play career mode, or play just with your friends, or just have a quick smash and face session, then it's fine.
It will be good for a house party because you can just keep it rolling. If people got their favourite fighters, get involved. It's just a fun game to pick up. It really is.
Definitely. Although one thing I don't understand, you don't either, because we discussed this earlier. Ooh, what was this? I cannot remember. I just had buffalo wings.
It wasn't the buffalo wings.
They were good though.
Yes, they were.
So when you have to buy your membership license from a gym so you can access that gym, and then there's a weekly fee for the gym. Now you can spend time like doing stuff around the gym, like publicising them or cleaning or stuff like that, which will earn you discounts on that gym. But if you go to a different gym, you lose all those discounts. And then you have the moments where your opponent is a member of the same gym and it won't let you use that gym. So all that work you've done to get that discount just goes down the drain because the opponent's training there and you can't.
And why do they get first dibs?
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. I've been coming here for ages.
I clean these mats every week, you bastard.
Yeah, thanks for cleaning up all the mats. Now, fuck off, mate.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, towards the end of your career, you're pulling in so much more money, it doesn't really matter. But it just seems
but it's
like
the
a waste of
principle,
time.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's principle. Yeah, I think there's elements of the game that might fuck you off a little bit. Personally, there's a bit of a lag on some of the controls. So I found in matches where I'm throwing some punches, and maybe I've been a bit hasty with throwing doing a few too many button presses, and then the character will continue to throw a punch or two after, and it feels just a bit too laggy.
Yeah, one of the things that I've noticed in all of these games is whenever you hit that knockout punch, you're like, I just want to end that, just the knockout punch, and then he goes down and I just walk off. But no, you swing in mid-air as he's on the floor.
Yeah, it looks
you always
terrible.
have that second one queued up.
But it's not a biggie, and I really honestly think that if you like UFC and you're a fan of these games of number 1, number 2, you'll have bought this already.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's iterative, but it is polishing the product that we've already got.
Yeah.
And graphically, it doesn't seem to have changed hardly any since the first one.
No.
But I mean, they are honing the actual gameplay and the game structure around it as well.
It's the right way to do it. It's honing the actual gameplay rather than just adding some more names and doing the same thing again. Once you've got into a certain space, you can't change it too much anyway. I mean, it's always going to be UFC, 2 men in a ring fighting it out. So you can't really play too much with that. I mean, some of the submission stuff I didn't understand fully, but maybe it was expecting knowledge from previous games a little bit more.
Possibly.
I don't know how much it's changed from the last
The
one.
submission you have now have 2 submission types. So you've got like a button pressing one and a gate sort of strategy one, which is the one that they've carried over.
Okay. But I mean, for me, submission is never the way I play these games. I'm more of a run in and beat the shit out of your face until you fall over, rather than go to submission.
I'll do that and then I'll get in trouble and go to a submission.
But I have found the AI of some of the characters that you're fighting is clever enough to realise they are in danger, and they do that. They try and go for the submission. So I do my best to keep away from that. But it's good fun when you learn that big shot. It's a good feeling. So to be honest, it's good. I would recommend it for somebody who likes UFC.
Yeah, certainly. If you like the UFC, you probably already got it. If you like fighting games, could be worth a look for you. It's pretty realistic, pretty visceral.
It'll be a full price game at the moment, but it might come down in price. Certainly when the UFC 4 might come out. But at the moment, I'd probably recommend it. If you're into that kind of genre of game, you're going to spend quite a few hours doing it, then it's worth the money, because it's going to be a full price game.
Yeah.
But maybe in my heart, don't give EA the money.
Yeah, he just can't say nice things about EA.
I can't, but
EA used to be
game.
like a really good company, and they just back in the day. Man.
I'm literally torn though, because it's a good game, but it's from EA.
And from what we can tell, it's fully from EA. There's no like.
No, I can't sit here and say buy it, because it means filling EA's coffers. But at the same time, looking at the game, it's great. I enjoyed it.
I bought Battlefront 2. Fucking buy it.
But that's okay. Marks out of 10. What would you give it out of 10?
I'll give that a solid 8.
So, that's high. That's high.
I don't think we're going to get much better in octagony, smashy, facey action.
No, it's tough. I'd probably be around the same mark. And I think I'd probably go for a 7. I think the balance between doing the busy work before the fight is too much compared to the fight.
It could be that the busy work this time around isn't quite as busy as it used to be, because you used to have to do like a mini game every time you trained something.
Oh, okay.
So now...
So this is why you give it an 8 and I give it a 7.
But now it's just like, yeah, I do this, and then it puts on numbers. And you're like, done.
So that's where I'm sitting with it. It's I'd say about a 7, but it's a good 3/4 of a 10, isn't it? So
not quite, but close.
Yeah, 3/4 of a 10. Like, you give it 8, I give it 7, 7.5.
I reckon 7.5. Oh, I see what you mean. Together.
Yeah, together. No, Lee. No. But guys, that's our review of UFC 3. I hope you enjoyed that, because we have videos coming out every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday.
And if you want to, you can like, comment and subscribe down below. And if you subscribe,
you can ding the bell.
And then someone will come and take you away.
Yeah, but there's a bell down there. If you click that, you get to know when our new content comes out. So it's awesome.
Even though we've just told you. Click it anyway!
Yeah, not again, just the once. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.
Take it easy, guys.
Bye.